Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Simon Whistler Show with Sam Myers. Sam Myers, how are you today? Are you doing well? Still locked down? Corona time is upon us.
Yep, I'm in the house. I'm locked down. However, I see a light at the end of the tunnel. The sun is coming out. It's beautiful. Summer's coming. We're getting the balcony ready. The balcony's being prepared.
Dude, I got my barbecue out on my balcony the other day.
How did that feel?
Oh, it felt good. And then I ran out of gas.
Oh, no.
And none of the stores are open where I can buy gas, which is annoying because the weather is glorious. And I was cooking burgers and I was like, yeah, these are cooked enough. And they were, but if in an ideal situation I'd have cooked them a little bit more, but I didn't want to take them inside and then put them on a pan after barbecuing
Yeah,
them.
it ruins the structural integrity of the burger, I feel. Once you barbecue, that barbecue needs to be the finish, not the pre-cook.
In every way, yeah.
I decided
agree.
to get down on my hands and knees because we've got a wooden wooden balcony patio thing, a terrace thing, and it's gone really faded and dark. And I decided to get down on my hands and knees with a scourer and a bucket of water and scour all the crap off of the wood. And it's a completely different color. We're now pimping it out with all we've got hanging strawberries and flowers and.
You rent your apartment.
Yeah, we're doing them a massive favor.
Oh my god, I need you as a tenant. Like I don't have any real estate that I rent, but I want to get it and have you as my tenant because I'll just rent it to you and I'll come back and I'll be like, wow, it's a lot better than when I left it. Unlike every apartment I've ever rented where it's like, oh yeah, I accidentally dented the fridge once. Sorry.
Yeah, I honestly, we fix quite a lot of stuff here. Like
you fix the built-in microwave and stuff.
Yeah, no, we like fixing things here. It's I don't know.
Wow.
I think the thing is, we've got some friends that have lived in a place for a very long time now, lived there 10 years, and they've never done any of their own repairs or anything. And because they're waiting for someone to come in and do them, but the guy's not doing them. So it's sort of a stalemate of them going, right, who's going to do it? And I'd just rather do it. I'd rather just live in a nice place. So, hey.
Yeah, especially if you've been renting for 10 years, it's like, well, come on.
It's not going to happen, is it?
No. It's like, well, the landlord's suddenly going to be like, well, yeah, I guess I'll come and do all those repairs after 10 years. It's like, come on. Yeah, no, but I don't know, man. I feel with the weather, isn't it worse now? Because before, it was kind of cold, and I'm like, I don't need to go outside. It's cold. It's cold outside. I'm just happy to stay home. But now it's like the sun is beating in and I'm like, sitting on the balcony is nice. Going to the park, going to the forest, it's better.
It's better, yeah. Sitting in the pub,
having
in a beer garden with a beer, that'd be nice.
It is dangerous how much I look forward to going to the pub.
Yeah,
it's outrageous.
I'm on a similar level, actually. That's it's the one thing I really miss is like
I want to sit on an uncomfortable bench outside a pub and drink a beer or 17. Like that's all I want right now from life. And I don't want to complain because obviously like I get to work and shit still, and everyone, I genuinely feel like my lockdown is far better than what a lot of people have. But dude, my desire to go to the pub is strong.
It was one of my biggest sort of fears of the lockdown is that every year I take a bicycle trip down to the wine area of the Czech Republic, which is a lovely spot for anyone listening in. If ever you're in the Czech Republic, do check it out. But the wine area, and it's every year in June, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it. And it's like the moment they said lockdown for 2 months, I was like, no, this can't be happening. Yeah. I look forward to this all year.
I go on a trip with a friend of mine from school every year. We go somewhere and we do like a road trip or an adventure of some kind. And this year it was all booked. We had flights. We were going to the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. We were renting a 4x4 and taking like a week's road trip through the Atlas Mountains. And I was like, this is going to be epic. Like we do something like this every year. And I was like, oh, well, even if the lockdown's over, the borders are going to be closed until like the end of the year. So, yeah.
Have you ever heard of the what's it called? The Mongol Rally?
Dude, of course.
Oh, that's like my dream to take part in the Mongol Rally.
It's on my list. Yeah, it's on my list.
I mean, that's for anyone that doesn't know. It's a 10,000 kilometer race from Central Europe up to Siberia. It finishes just in Siberia, and you have to go in a 1,000cc car or something like that. Something like
yeah, it's like 1 liter, or is it? It's around 1 liter engine size. It has to cost less than $1,000 or something.
And you have to, and you have to save money for charity. It's a big charity event, but it's a race with no solid concrete destination, no solid concrete route. You just got to go. I think there are options ahead of time because you got to sort out visas, especially if you're going through Russia. So I think there's like some planning, but it is still fully like just get there. There'd definitely be planning, but it's very much free, and I think the last rule is that you are completely alone. There's no backup, so like you got to fix it yourself. There's no backup, and the whole idea of it is that you'll spend loads of time with the people because your car will break down all the time. That's the theory.
Yes. Do you know anything about mechanics and cars?
I know more and more now. I'll be honest, until I left the UK, I was the most useless DIY fixer of anything. I couldn't fix anything. And then I went to Canada and everyone there was amazing at everything. And then I came here and people are even better. And I was just like, right, time to learn to be a man. So you got to learn at least some of this stuff, because I couldn't fix anything and everyone else was just walking around making me look awful. Just awful.
I felt incredibly manly last summer when I went to get my car. It's parked in the garage and the battery was dead. And I'm like, because I hadn't driven it in like 6 months. And I'm like, okay, I can fix this because I don't really have an option. And so I get a kit. I go to the store and I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy like a trickle charger. I bought like a set of wrenches, and because the battery was like, it wasn't just one of these easy remove batteries. It was because the engine's in a weird place. It was tricky, but I managed to get the battery out, take it upstairs to my apartment, trickle charge that bitch, take it downstairs, put it back into the car. Boom, the car works. I was so pleased with myself to an absurd degree. Like,
I bet you put on a pair of dungarees on one button and carried the wrench over your shoulder like that in triumph.
It did feel something like that. It was absolutely great.
This is actually why I like fixing things. This is why I like doing this stuff, is because you don't realize how amazing it feels when you make something work. Like when you get something from not working to working, and you go, this is.
I think it's like, I don't know about you, but I mean, we do jobs, and most people do jobs now that are just so computer-based, office-based, digital-based. There's like, we never do anything with our hands. And I like doing things with my hands. I mean, I don't because I don't have time. But like, I'll do that, like that car battery. I'll like assemble some IKEA furniture. And this is like the lowest level, most basic shit. And I'm like, hell yeah.
I would love to. I'd love to in my free time build a cabin.
Oh yeah, like a log cabin or some shit.
Like a log cabin, like made out of wood, and then like waterproof it all and fit it all and do everything. I'd love to do that as a project.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't know if I could do it, but I would love to try.
Yeah, no, that's a good project. You should do that.
I should.
Go get some land. And you know here, if you don't have a foundation, you can build a cabin on your land.
Can you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure because I looked into doing this. I mean, not building it myself, but like having something built.
I'll do it for you, Simon.
And I don't know how I feel about that. It's your first.
You were like, go on, do it, Sam. Do it. But not mine.
Yeah, for yourself, Sam, not for me. Like, I don't trust your handiwork. Where was I? Yeah. So you can have it if it's not got a foundation, I believe.
Okay. All right.
And also if it doesn't disturb the neighbors. So if you get permission from your neighbors, you don't need permission, or like the neighbors to your land, you don't need permission from the council. Apparently, which is pretty cool. Do you want to hear about something? I've got like notes, facts. I mean, this podcast is about facts, so I feel we should. Oh, dude, I want to talk about my merch.
Do it. Talk about your merch.
I've got merch coming, dude. Like, so we work with an advertising agency called the Out Loud Group, who do like a lot of our sponsorships and stuff. And it's a really cool agency. And they've like launched their merch store. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's get in on that. So I've just been sending them ideas, like from mostly the Business Blaze audience, and being like, hey, can you guys make that? Can you guys make this? Can you guys make that? And they keep sending me all these concepts, and they're just making it into merch. And I'm like, this is amazing. I just send them an idea, and it's like, here's a t-shirt with this. And I'm like, that looks incredible. And none of the new stuff's actually for sale. I mean, maybe it will be when this goes out, but it's been a bit slow because of Corona. But dude, I just had it as a note here because I was just looking at this today, and I was excited about it.
That's amazing. Very good.
Yeah,
very
it's
good.
really cool.
So is it all like jokes? Is it all sort of things that you say and think?
Yeah. It's like a lot of it's like inside jokes and stuff. And like logos of the brands and all of this stuff, but it's pretty cool.
So your business Blaze channel is very memeable.
Yeah, dude, it's mostly just memes. It's mostly just making fun of Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, that's great. That must. Are you proud of merch coming out? Is it pride, or is it just it looks?
Well, no,
cool?
I mean I don't do anything. Yeah, it just looks cool. It's like I just send someone an idea that I probably just took from the comments on my channel, so it's not like really I have anything to do with this other than being like the person who sends some emails. But it's more like, wow, that's cool. Yeah, no, there's no pride.
Actually, that's something I love. I love the process of just getting shit done. Do you know what I mean? Like just like when you say, okay, I've got a meme, I've got a funny concept, send it off to someone and get it made, and it gets made. Love that.
Oh yeah, dude. That's 90% of my life, and it feels good. Like, it doesn't feel as good as building an IKEA bench, but, I mean, it feels pretty good.
I don't know if I ever told you, I went to China and I designed a lock with a Chinese...
Yeah, shit, you did. Was this for locking up bags or something?
Yeah, it was a special design that I came up with to fight bags being stolen in... or being opened and stolen from on buses for travelling. And... It was. I
had some stuff stolen like that, so this is a good solution.
Yeah, well, this is it. The same thing happened to us. We had our bag got broken into. Was sleeping overnight and had it underneath me, and someone would put their hand underneath, opened it up, and pulled everything out, taking all the money and the wallet and the phone and everything. And it luckily left the passport. They were not complete assholes.
Yeah, if you're stealing a passport, are they actually worth it? I always heard like, oh yeah, a passport on the black market's worth like 10 grand, but I think that's just bullshit, right?
I don't think it's worth anything. It belongs to that one person, you know, and it's like you can probably change the picture, but you can't change the what's it called, what do they call it? The hologram. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean...
And also, if a passport was worth 10 grand, there would be a giant black market of people just selling passports. Like, yeah, I lost it again.
I suppose it could work the other way, that maybe people are selling passports and then they need to go and get surgery to look like that person.
True. Or, like, have just the passport of someone who looks like you.
I mean, we've all used fake IDs, I assume.
I don't know what you're talking about. I always feel like if I needed to go on the run, one of the ways that I would do it is find someone, just go to a coffee shop, walk around the streets. I'd just find someone who's bald and has a beard about my height, similar look to me. And then I'd follow them.
I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for saying this by mentioning another YouTuber on one of our YouTube channels, but you are the English version, or he is the American version.
Well, dude, there's so many. Everyone says, "Oh, the bald and beard." It's like either Michael Stevens binging with Babish.
You are binging with Babish, or
yeah,
he is
of
you.
Course.
But even to the point that you guys are very particular. That your style of delivery and everything is very precise and very.
We speak in a similar way, even though we have different.
You're
accents.
Very analytical. It's funny.
Yeah.
I watch him and I'm like, oh, it's American Simon.
Yeah, people say this a lot. It's interesting. I lost my train of thought though, Sam. What was I talking about? Yeah, okay. So if you needed to flee the country, right? What I would do is find someone and then follow them, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, okay, follow them when they get home. And then assuming no, you're not going to kill them. But it's like, okay, follow them home and then break into their house when they're not at home and steal their passport. Just search all their shit, find their passports, and then flee.
Mm.
That would be my plan.
Valid.
Find someone who looks enough like me. And I think you could find that easily.
Where would you go if you wanted to escape anything? Ooh. Where would you go?
Well, I'd look up what the non-extradition treaties are, right? Mm-hmm. Non-extradition countries. Is that a thing? I assume that's a thing.
Yeah.
There's
where no one can come in and take you out. Yeah.
So if you're on the run, let's say from the UK, there's going to be countries like
America,
Gambia or some shit. No, there's extradition between the US and the UK.
Is there?
almost certainly. It's
I think the US
close
can go
ally.
into the UK and take someone back, but I don't think anyone can go into the UK.
It's going to be reciprocal. There's no way that they'd do a deal where it's not reciprocal. It makes no sense. It's going to be some random country where it's just they've been like, no, we like your criminals. You know, I like Argentina always because they're like, yeah, Nazis can come, so I assume Argentina would be a good one to go for. Yeah, then I'd just be like, all right, I don't think I'll take the flight direct to that country. I probably wouldn't fly. I'd just like take the train, and then, yeah, I reckon you got to get out of Europe pretty fast. So I'd go down to like the south of France, pay someone like. It also depends how much money you have, right? Because if you've got like £100,000 in cash, you're probably going to find someone pretty easy in the south of France or in the Med to be like, hey, here's 20 grand. Just drop me off in Morocco and we'll figure things out from there. And you're already in Africa.
I don't even think you'd need to offer that much.
No, probably not, right? But it's like if
Morocco's not far from the bottom of Spain. Like that's not a long trip.
Yeah, you can see it. Just go over to Gibraltar, find someone in Gibraltar, be like, hey, take me over there.
Yeah.
He's a fat.
But I don't know. Do you not reckon you'd be safer in Europe? Because once you're in Europe, you can basically disappear into Europe.
That's true, but still, all of Europe's going to be extradition, and you want somewhere where you can go, and even if they know who you are, it doesn't matter. Because you want to live somewhat freely. Suppose. Yeah. Like, if you're in Europe, I mean, and then that passport's not going to last forever because it's going to be reported stolen, and then you're not going to have an identity.
Yeah, you could like, I don't know, you could take your £100,000 and go and become like an African prince or something like that.
How? I mean, do you know anyone who sells identities? I don't even know how. Like, I'd probably reach out to the dodgiest person I know and ask them to put me in touch with the dodgiest person they know.
Do you know those kind of dodgy people?
And then, no, but I know people who would probably know people.
Yeah, I don't know if I do. I imagine it's through the dark web. I imagine that's how you do it.
Oh, that's true. You could go onto like whatever the Silk Road is these days.
Yeah,
because you could buy passports and shit on the Silk Road or like fake identities.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. Yeah, it's a part of life I've not like stepped into. I imagine if you're in other countries, like kind of less controlled country, less sort of policed countries, then it would be easier to find. But I don't know. I think dark web's probably the best way to find it.
That's right. I bet on the dark web you could find someone who will just take you to for the right price, like in Breaking Bad. You
can get anything on the dark web.
Yeah.
I once stayed with a guy in Panama. We were working on a farm, and he shipped.
Panama, I feel like, is somewhere you could go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't imagine they've got many laws.
Panama's a funny one actually because
they've just got good hats and stuff.
Very good fried chicken. But I felt like not much else. I have to be honest. Like I don't dislike Panama. I felt like it's
actually, I think you're the second person who's told me that. Unless you've told me this before, they found Panama City the most boring place in the world.
Very very boring. It's basically the way I feel about Panama is that it's been so scarred, and like it's kind of left. You still see the scars of the American influence. So there's a lot of sort of Americanism to the place, but it's not quite thriving. Whereas Costa Rica next door is sort of thriving from all the influx of tourism and everything like that. Whereas as America sort of moved out of Panama, it kind of took all the money with it, if you know what I mean. That's kind of what I feel with Panama. But it's naturally incredible, naturally beautiful. The sea is turquoise blue, the jungles are thick and like.
Wait, so everywhere. Who's this dude you met in Panama?
So this dude I met in Panama shipped through the dark web. He was a.
Wait, you met him through the dark web? Why are you on the dark web?
No. So we worked on a farm together through.
I was in Panama working on my latest drug deal. We were shipping 6 kilos of Colombian white.
I can understand why you're taking it this way, but
yeah.
When I framed the picture, I was in Panama working on a farm, and
he was on the run.
But no, so he basically was just a big pothead, and he wanted to fly in from Morocco some really high quality marijuana, and he posted it through, and it went through the post from Morocco through to Panama, through all the security checks and everything. And basically there was a specialist dude on the dark web that had a business where he found ways to get drugs through post, so and through sort of checks and things like that. So it was all underneath the stickers, and and attached into the licky bits and everything like that. It was really amazing to hear about it. But
I do think, at least now, like in countries where there aren't borders, like in Europe or within a country itself. So once, let's say, the drugs are in the country, then distribution of drugs, like when you could buy them on the dark web and stuff, was you'd buy it online with like Bitcoin or whatever, and the drug dealer would just put it in the post for you.
Send it through.
Because it's like, if you're posting something from like London to Edinburgh or whatever, or even, pre-Brexit, London to Paris, there's not really a border there.
I suppose, but why didn't they do it in the past? Just like give me
because there wasn't a reputation system. There wasn't like, because if you're buying it on the dark web, you could be like, yeah, this person actually ships me the drugs. Whereas before it'd be like, okay, can you post me the drugs and I'll like. Also, there's no way to send money anonymously, but there is with Bitcoin.
I suppose, yeah, true.
Yeah, you know, one way people were getting busted on this, or like possibly way for them to get busted, was they would do, because Bitcoin's anonymous, right? So you can pay like for things anonymously, but only in the sense of you've still got your Bitcoin wallet, right? So they know it was sent from like, let's say, user 71983 or whatever, but then user 71983 might later buy Domino's in their name. So they're like, well, we know that you bought Domino's, Mike. And then like, but 3 years ago, you also used the same Bitcoin wallet to buy drugs. So we know that this was your Bitcoin. And it's like, that's so... You don't think about that because you're like, Bitcoin's anonymous, right? But only if you burn your wallets or whatever the process is. I don't know anything about this, but it was interesting to read. That's how people can get busted.
That is interesting. There you go. You wouldn't even think of that. Like, that's... there you go. Keep your Bitcoin for drugs, people.
Only, like, have a dedicated drug-buying Bitcoin accounts... and a dedicated Bitcoin account for legal activities.
Oh no!
You're welcome.
I use my drug buying Bitcoin account.
Yeah.
No.
FBI.
We have to move.
Do you want to do some facts?
Yeah, let's do some facts. Yeah.
Or like stories or whatever we call it. Coronavirus. German zoo may have to feed animals to each other.
What? No. What?
Yeah, dude. And there's a picture of pandas, but I think the pandas, because they're rare and special, they're going to be like eating the monkeys or whatever, because there's more monkeys. Monkeys aren't special.
They only eat bamboo.
Pandas are
That's
special.
all they eat.
Oh, they only eat bamboo?
Pandas only eat bamboo.
So why is there a picture of them here then? They're not going to be eaten. They're not going to be eating. Bloody BBC putting a picture of pandas.
Oh my god. No.
It just says the panda twins in Berlin. Oh, because it's like, okay, why are they having to feed the animals to each other, or why might they have to do this? And it's because they're just not making enough money.
Who's being fed to who? Lions being fed...
Oh, well, it doesn't say, disappointingly, and I tried looking it up.
What's
and this was in the news today, so there's not really been any follow-up, and they haven't started feeding the animals to each other yet. I speculated a little bit, that the panda's probably not going to be fed to, like, the dolphins or whatever dolphins eat, stuff like this, because they're pandas, they're super rare and they don't want to mate, so it's problematic. Anyway, so what does it say? A zoo director in zoos that should have been crowded over Easter are basically, there's not enough money coming in, they're asking for donations. A zoo director in northern Germany has even admitted that some animals might soon have to be fed to others if the zoo is to survive. And I'm like, whoa, shit got real fast. Dude.
That is terrible. Yeah. That is definitely a way to get very quick donations coming in. That's.
I figure this is what I thought. This could be like part of the, okay, if we say we're going to have to feed, the animals to each other, people are going to donate. Anyway, so this dude, we've listed the animals that we'll have to slaughter first, says Neumünster Zoo's Verena Kaspari. And I'm like, that's intense. That list wasn't available, sadly. I couldn't find that list. Maybe it was not because it was German. Maybe if I'd looked on German sites, I would have found it, but nothing. Anyway, the zoo spokesperson said, blah, blah, blah. This isn't interesting. Let's get back to when they eat each other. Miss Kaspari at Neumünster Zoo said, killing some of the animals so that others could live would be a last resort and unpleasant.
It's an understatement, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So she says, if it comes to it, I'll have to euthanize animals. I'd rather euthanize the animals than let them starve. And at the worst, we'd have to feed them to each other. So this was pretty intense.
Doesn't sound like there's much stake on them anyway. That's they're not going to get a good feed out of these animals if they're starving.
No, I really just would like to know, who's getting fed to
what's
who?
the hierarchy?
Yeah. Anyway, another problem was like at the end of the article, and I feel this is like such a letdown until you realize something. It's like the animals are missing humans. So they're like, oh, the animals are getting like, they're really bored. And they say this is another problem. Like the seals and parrots were also fascinated by their visitors. And, quote, for them now, it's really pretty boring. And I'm like, well, we've got a solution then, haven't we? Just put them in with like the monkeys. Like the monkeys are hungry, the birds are bored. Let's put the birds in with some predators of the birds, and those birds ain't going to be bored anymore. And I mean, because they'll be avoiding getting killed. And also the monkeys will have something to eat. Problem solved.
I don't know. Could a monkey kill a bird?
I don't know, dude. What eats birds? Snakes.
Snakes eat birds.
Put them in with the snakes. Dude, put the parrots in with the snakes.
That is awful. It's just...
Well, I'm just saying, it solves all the problems. The snakes won't be hungry and the parrots won't be bored.
I mean, I can't argue with the logic.
Flawless logic, Sam. I'm going to have to write to Mr. Mrs. Kaspari. Listen, I've got a solution. And this reminded me, that was just in the news today, and this reminded me of a video that, I don't know if I actually made a video specifically about this, but it might have been like a bonus fact in one of the Today I Found Out videos, because I actually found this on the Today I Found Out website, which is basically the time Parisians ate the zoo. So in 1870, there was the Prussian army was laying siege to Paris, right? And basically all of the supply lines for Paris were cut off. So the Ministry of Agriculture couldn't get them any food in. And they were like getting really hungry. They were like, okay, well, they knew it was happening. So they got as much in as possible, kind of like in this coronavirus time, get as much in as possible. But eventually it runs out. And they're like, what are we going to eat? And they're like, well, there's a zoo, isn't there? So they literally, I mean, they don't start at the zoo, but they start they kill all the horses. They kill 65,000 horses are killed and eaten.
All at once?
Because it goes, No.
Just
well.
a mass killing.
Dude,
we're eating horses today.
You would think oh my God, how long did this go on for? It was only 4 months.
What? How is it possible that many people need to eat?
I don't know. So they stockpiled, and then they were like, we ran out of food. So they killed, there were 65,000 horses. Because, I mean, this is back in the day, horses were used for carts and shit. So they killed 65,000 horses and ate them, which isn't too bad. I mean, people eat horses all the time in, some countries. Then they're like, all right, moving along. 1870s. So, dude, it's 2 months in. They're halfway in. And then they're like, okay, we eat all the dogs. And we eat all the cats. And then we start eating the rats and pigeons. So they're killing whatever they can just to eat them. People would sell their former pets for 20 to 40 cents per pound of meat, while a fat rat could go for 50 cents.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
I think a lot of people have a really sort of a real romantic view of Paris and France as in itself. However, I think there's been pretty dark times to live in France.
Dude. Wait, it gets a bunch worse. So bear in mind the restaurants hadn't closed, so they were preparing all this food and they were improvising. But now Christmas comes, most of the restaurants are now closed, although a few of the best restaurants in Paris are still open. And they're basically, because there's a really limited supply of stuff now. And they're like, okay, so we'll start eating the zoo animals. A dude bought 2 zoo elephants, which had names, Calyx and Pollux. Castor and Pollux, sorry. He bought them for 27,000 francs, which I don't know how much that is, but I think it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a real lot. And then they didn't really have any equipment for killing elephants, so they found the best way to do it was with explosive steel-tipped bullets at close range. So they chopped them up and then they sold them all, in parts. So this was a butcher who bought it and then he sold it to these top restaurants. There was, so they made elephant soup and elephant fillets. It's pretty dark.
What are we eating? That is le trunk. You're having the trunk.
And then what else did they eat? Kangaroos, which I've eaten kangaroos.
Delicious
actually. Antelope.
Yeah, like a deer, I suppose.
Peacock.
Ooh, very royal.
I'd eat a peacock. I feel weird about eating an elephant, but peacock would be interesting.
Yeah, no, peacock's a bird, isn't it? You know, it's
yeah, poultry.
And do you know what a peacock's wife is called?
No.
A lady peacock, a peahen.
Oh, there you go. That makes complete sense.
Blew my mind. There was a pub called it in England. I walked past it. I was like, the
peahen?
What is that? So I had to go look it up. Yeah, so it's you got the peacock and the peahen. The peacock is the colourful one. The peahen is very much a boring looking.
The boring
bird.
one, like ducks. You know, the nice looking ones are the men. Weird. Yeah. So ultimately, most of the animals in the zoo were eaten. You know what animals they did not eat, and they don't know why. There's like no record apparently of why they didn't eat the monkeys, the lions, the tigers, and the hippos. Now I get why they didn't eat the monkeys because it's like
too close. It's too close.
So it's a bit like us, isn't it? But if I don't know, lions, tigers, and hippos. Hippos, like that'd be one of the first to go.
I'd imagine hippos. They just couldn't kill them. That's pretty much invincible.
Big dudes. Yeah, they're like, I'm not even going in there with that.
Like, he's in the water. Nah.
Yeah, no. The reason they didn't eat, they killed 6 people who tried and then they stopped.
Like, the lions and tigers is a curious one. I would have thought in time of crisis, you'd be like, right, what does lion taste like? Let's try it.
Yeah, shit.
Like, you're never going to get to do it again.
Dude, 100%. I'll be like, I actually wrote in my notes here, those are the ones I'd most like to try.
Yeah,
I'd be like, elephants, nah.
I feel like you're going to judge me a little bit. I'm doing a month vegetarian.
Oh. Why?
Just...
Are you not able to get meat because of coronavirus?
No, it's not that. It's just...
Are you allergic to meat?
No. I just decided to try it. Like, it was a house initiative that we are going to eat vegetarian for 1 month. For
how will you get all the nutrients you need and
lots
stuff?
Lots of chickpeas. But
really,
but like chickpeas and like we'll eat loads of sort of chickpeas and lentils.
Yeah, but how are you going to get like the protein
shake?
That must have meat in it then.
No, doesn't it? It has proteins in
it. There's no way to get meat protein other than from meat.
Beans, you've got loads of proteins.
No, I don't believe it.
You don't eat apart from one meal a day.
That's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy.
You do not have a foot, like an upper foot here, an upper hand. What do they call it?
No, and I'm largely pulling your leg.
But I'm hoping to kind of bring up my level of vegetarian cooking, so then I can go back and eat meat, and then be a sort of a flexitarian, as you will.
Dude, wait, like so an omnivore, like we're supposed to be.
Yeah, like this is purely a choice. This is not a. No one's forcing me to do this. I just, and it's not like a.
It'd be a bit weird if someone was forcing you to do it. Like, listen, Sam.
Like,
Mum, I'm 28 years old, Mum.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like that. It's just a little experiment. I'll let you know how it goes if I feel tired.
Okay, I mean, don't worry about it. I'm never going to do it myself. I love consuming the flesh of animals. Smash that dislike button. Anyway, the whatever, they ate the zoo. The war ends. Who cares? Let's move on to something else. Should we do one more today?
Yeah.
I didn't even remember what the war was. That's like not the important part of this story. Okay, Sam. Here are your choices. Do you want... what have we got? Do you want to know about guinea pigs in Switzerland? Do you want to know about open office plans? Or do you want to know about laser car scanners?
Guinea pigs.
Okay, guinea pigs it is. I knew you would pick guinea pigs, and I'm like, oh, please pick open offices. But we'll do guinea pigs. The plus side is it's short, and I'm hungry. And that means we finish sooner. It is illegal to own only one guinea pig in Switzerland. Are you familiar with this animal, boy?
What, the guinea pig?
No, the fact that it's the law to have a single guinea pig. You have to have 2 or more. You can't get you can get single guinea pigs, but you can't own single guinea pigs.
I think I've heard of this, and I think, if I remember correctly, the reason is that they're lonely.
They are lonely. They're social animals, so you can't keep them alone. And I'm like, I don't care about animals. Animals are fine. But this is really nice.
I think it's lovely. I think it's really nice. But it then means you suddenly own 2 guinea pigs, and 2 guinea pigs is a lot more work than 1 guinea pig. Those 2 guinea pigs will mate, and then you'll end up with 500 guinea pigs. It's terrible.
Well, okay. Most of the time, because I had no idea about any of this shit, they will only sell, or like generally, the sold guinea pigs are female or castrated males. So you don't really have the mating opportunity because it's best that way because they're guinea pigs. You don't want more. They're like, wait, do they mate? Are they super fast reproducers?
Yeah,
or is that
maters,
just rabbits?
big maters.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
And then, if I remember correctly, if they feel threatened, they eat their young.
Really?
Yeah, which I don't feel is a great defense mechanism. I have to be honest.
No, that seems like exactly. It's like, can you imagine you threaten the guinea pig with the intent of it, destroying its family, and then it's like, oh well, I'll just destroy it for
anyway.
you. It's like, well, that was easy.
At least I get a good meal before I go.
It's bizarre. But can you spot the problem with this? I mean, there's many problems with this.
There might be odd-numbered litters.
Sort of. The odd number is, you're on the right path with the odd numbers. Basically, like let's say you're, average Swiss person and you've got your 2 guinea pigs. They're not going to die at the same time. So what do? Like when, guinea pig A dies, I can't think of appropriate guinea pig names. I was going to try and give them names. You would always name them as twins, wouldn't you?
So it'd be salt and pepper, or it'd be like
okay.
rosemary and
that's
sage,
perfect.
and then one would die.
Oh, dude, you nailed this. This is beautiful. And it'll illuminate the story. So you've got salt and pepper, right? 2 beautiful guinea pigs. It's very unlikely that salt and pepper are both going to pass at the same time. And then suddenly, Pepper's dead and you're breaking the law. So what do? Salt's all alone. So do you get another guinea pig? And then where does that guinea pig come from? So you get another guinea pig called... Over to you, Sam. What would go with salt and pepper? Called mustard.
Okay.
And which I feel is an appropriate name for a guinea pig. And let's say it's mustard coloured. But then the problem is, next up, Pepper's going to die, and you're left with mustard, and you've got to get, mayonnaise, a white guinea pig. And you're like, oh shit, it perpetuates this infinite cycle of guinea pigs, just so you're not breaking the law.
At least there's a good lot of condiments to name them after. It's I have to be honest,
That's true.
I don't think the guinea pig, I love a guinea. I like seeing a guinea pig, but I don't think I'd ever own a guinea pig. I feel they smell, and they require lots of changing. And they're very loud squeakers. They squeak very loud.
Yeah, that's true. My sister had a guinie pig when we were young. I think it died because we left it outside in the winter, and apparently that's not what we're supposed to do.
That's terrible. I had a hamster. I
don't know, because we had rabbits, and those guys stay outside in the winter. Apparently the guinea pigs don't.
They hibernate.
They do?
Yeah, I think so. They dig into the ground,
wow.
Or do they just die? I'm not sure.
Dude,
do they burrow into a house? I've got no idea.
I got no idea, dude. Anyway, I don't know if it was because of this. Maybe it was just old and died. Who cares? It's a big rat. So you know what the solution to this problem is? Switzerland has rent-a-guinea pig services.
Genius.
Yeah.
I was going to say it was going to be like a guinea pig dating service or something.
Yeah, because you'd be a kid and your parents would buy you a guinea pig, and it's like, you're locked into guinea pig care for life. Like, the only way to get out of it is when you die. Or both guinea pigs just happen to die at exactly the same time, which is a coincidence that until Rent-A-Guinea Pig started, every Swiss person was praying for. They'd be like, the blessed double guinea pig death. Like, maybe the hutch burns down, maybe they just get some bad food, maybe just they happen to die at the same time. There'd be celebrations in Switzerland.
The poor little kid comes in, checks, goes, oh no, Pepper's dead. Turn around, son. Oh, Salt's dead as well. No.
And his neck's at a really funny angle.
What happened? He fell.
He fell between my hands that were moving at rapid speed. Bosh.
Oh god, terrible.
So, yeah, you can rent a guinea pig, but how it works is basically you buy a guinea pig, and then the person who sells it to you will take it back for half the price.
Oh.
And they have a guinea pig farm or some shit like that.
Goodness.
They have some other rules. It's not just guinea pigs. Goldfish are smart, by the way, so they have to have their own. They have to have a tank mate. You can't have a solo goldfish.
How do we know they're smart?
Oh, they've done various tests on them. Their memory's good. They can train them to do things. They recognize their owners. Yeah, goldfish, way smarter than people think. And so you shouldn't they get crazy bored and sad if you leave them in a tank alone with no decoration and stuff.
I owned 2 fish. Both of them jumped out the tank. Yeah, they were those the fighting. What are they called? The fighting Betties. Wait,
did I know you? I think I've heard this story.
Yeah,
you had fish
think
recently.
You met me when one of them jumped out. We went for a beer, and I was telling you the depressing, tragic story of my suicidal fish.
You came home and it was...
It was dry on the floor, and I had to like scrape it off the floor. It was like the poor thing. It was, I don't know what, he was either bored or he was too hot. Those are the two like
because they were tropical
solutions
fish, right?
that I've come at. Yeah, it was like 28 degrees in the water, which I thought is roughly Thai paddy field, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's like Thai jacuzzi. So he jumped out.
Oh, okay.
You know, didn't survive. He was fleeky by the time I got back.
Well, he's probably like, thank God I'm dead because it was really hot in there and I didn't like my flesh being cooked. You monster.
I know, right?
The cat law is also very specific. Like, you can have a cat alone, but it must be able to see another cat. Which I'm like, okay, so you live in a house, your neighbors have to have a cat as well, like, or the people in the apartment across, it has to be able to observe that cat. And I'm like, which is actually not as absurd as you think, because I used to work from home in my old apartment, and there was a man, or like across the street or whatever, who had a cat, and it would sit in the window, and I'd love looking at that cat. I'd look out and it would always be there sitting in the window, and I'm like, oh, so if I had a cat, he could also be out there.
Cats love to look out. My poor cat got very ill today.
Oh no.
He had laryngitis.
I didn't even know cats could get laryngitis.
Neither did I. But we took him
You
to
sure
the
it's not
doctor.
coronavirus?
It's not coronavirus. No, we did check. He went outside for the first time and was in the garden. I think he was just after being castrated, just after being neutered, and we think he got a virus or something like that. So he got a mixture of a virus, ate some paint, and got this and got laryngitis.
Do you walk your cat, Sam? Because I know you live in an apartment.
No.
So do you have a leash for your cat?
Yeah. And yeah.
No, I'm genuinely curious.
Every now and then, he's a very curious cat. He likes to go out. So
that's pretty awesome. Like, I think walking a cat is either... I do kind of feel it's a bit of a boss move, walking a cat.
It's one of those things that you think everyone's going to look at you funny, but then when you do it and people go, oh, look, a cat! and they go, that's so cool. That's such a cool thing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. No, I think that's good.
But no, poor thing, he's had antibiotics,
it's bizarre,
3
but
shots,
good.
All sorts. He's
Jesus.
pretty ill, so hopefully he'll be fine.
Okay, well, best of luck to him.
Yeah, I mean, he can't see another cat at this moment, which is terrible. We have to.
Oh no!
Do you know with this law, can they just put a cat on the TV and just leave a cat on the TV?
I don't know. I didn't say. I assume not, but maybe. How stupid are cats?
Depends. They're pretty stupid.
What if you ask your neighbor to put a picture of a cat in his window?
Well, my neighbor lives over a drop, so it's probably best not to do that. It's the only neighbour we can see is dropped over the balcony, so...
disappointing.
Yeah, dangerous.
Listen, Sam, let's wrap it up there today. This has been the Simon Whistler Show. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening, however you consume this show, which has turned into 90% banter because I haven't been making the effort on the research, and I probably should. If you prefer it this way, let me know. If you don't, also let me know. But bear in mind that'll mean a lot more work for me. Sam, it's been a pleasure. People can find you at This Is Sam Myers on Twitter. I am at Simon Whistler on Twitter, and Instagram for you. I'm also on Instagram, but don't expect me to post anything there. It's been like a year. What else? Check out my new channel, Mega Projects. Business Blaze is always a good one. That's also relatively new. Those are my plugs, Sam. I'm going to go get some dinner. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Wash your hands.